Sikukuwa na nini. As in singeingia, kulikuwa na makelele, sinaga earphones. Nani? Sawa. Acha tu nikuache. Kabisa we ni mbaya. Best thing I do. Caleb ameniambia tena wanaimba tamu. But do you like veranda? Also be like an empty cup you filled me. Where will that be? Where will that be? If it wasn't for your grace, oh God, and your mercy that saved me. Who am I? I lift my voice to the heavens, bursting out to worship, singing songs of victory. Okay. Gotcha. Nawe shikashika, bye. Mi nataka kuingia class, mi naweza kuwa na cut na sijui na sina content. Sasa utaniambia hivyo. Bye. Bye. The file didn't download. No, niyo tu. Niyo tu. Bye. Fanya kazi vizuri. We bye. Kwani wewe uko na nini gani na mimi? Wewe si ulinipigia late. We bye. We ngoja. Aki for real, bye. Tata nikusaidie kukata. Niko na nguvu. We una intention mzuri na mimi, acha tu nijipende. Acha nijipende juu sasa hizi ni gani? Sawa, bae, ufanye kazi vizuri. Na nimekata ndo hiyo.
When we keep it, when we invest it, and even
If it wasn't for your grace, oh God, and your mercy that saved me. Oh God, please, akisaidia kusikuwe na test leo. Attended the station. Ananasi klasa haikukua.
Good morning, afternoon, anyone. How are you?
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning. Please help calling in your friends so that we can start.
Good morning, ma'am.
Morning. Please call in your friends so that we can start. So that today we have enough time for questions. Okay. At least now we're at 40, so we can start the class. Okay, let me minimize this. Can you all see my screen?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
So, how was your week? Tell me how your week was.
It was fine, ma.
Stressful.
It was peaceful.
It was good.
Stressful.
Alhamdulillah, that is good. So we are starting on, today we will be doing product development. Oh, give me a minute, sort out this. Yes, so today we will be doing product development. So we've done product design, we have done product description, we have done, what else? Product analysis, we have done, what else have we done? What other topics have we done?
Product life cycle.
Yes. And what else?
Product description.
Yes. So now today we're going to go to product development. Now, product development is basically the stages of, from the concept of the product you want to create to the final product that you're going to take into the market, okay? So product development can be used in different stages are applied in different environments. So for example, if you're going to develop maybe a phone, you won't go through the same stages that you will go through when you're developing a software. Okay, so it varies depending on the industry and the product that you're creating. There are some products that is very simple. For example, if your product is massage. If your product is massage, all you need to do is buy your materials, maybe the oils. Once you find the oils, then you get the bed, then you get some of the towels that you will use. After that, then now you can offer your product into the market. Yeah. So when it comes to software development, it's a bit different because you have to go through various stages. When it comes to development, maybe you're trying to develop a phone. If you're developing a phone, it's different because, you know, you have to do the research. You have to, first of all, understand what kind of phone you want to create, what your target market wants in a phone, what are the features you're going to put in your phone, and then you do the prioritization as we discussed last week, and on and on and on until your product is now ready to go into the market. Okay. So some of the stages that are there is, first of all, identifying the market need. This is the problem. I previously told you that your product should be a solution to an existing problem. So you look into the market. What does the market not have? What problem does the market have? For example, if you want to make cooking pans, so you look into the market, what is a problem that is there that is related to cooking pans? Maybe the cooking pans that are there are not durable. That's a problem. Maybe the cooking pans that are there are very, they're very light. So when you put them onto the fire, or if you put them onto, if you're using a gas cooker, if you're using charcoal, if you're using wood, the pan it's too weak. So what happens is, because when the fire is too hot, the food starts to burn. That's a problem. Maybe they're cooking pans that have no handles. Okay, so when you're cooking your food, you don't know how you're going to remove the cooking pan out of the fire so that you can be able to put another cooking pan. Okay, that's a problem. What other problems are there? Maybe it's a shoe. If it's a shoe, what kind of shoe is there? Maybe the shoes that are there in the market are not durable. That's a problem. If the shoes are, once you wash them, they lose their color instantly. Okay, so the shoe was black. The first time you washed it, it becomes gray. Okay, that's a problem. So if it's maybe a car, maybe when the car gets, a small accident, the car is finished. So it gets crashed up and it's finished. So that's a problem. Maybe you want to, maybe when we talked about handbags, maybe you're looking for a handbag in the market, and the problem is that all handbags in the market do not have maybe enough space. So maybe you need, some people would prefer to carry their laptops in their handbags. And you look into the market and you see, oh, okay, there are no handbags that are big enough to fit a laptop inside it. That's a problem. Now, once you have understood the problem, now you have to come up with a solution. Okay, so now this is the place where you quantify the opportunity. Now, when it comes to quantifying the opportunity, how big is this opportunity? So for example, how many people are looking for handbags that have space for laptops? Yeah. You look into the market, what kind of people would need this kind of handbags? What kind of women would need this handbag? So you will be looking at working women. Okay. And the working women, also students, because some students carry their laptops. Now, if you're looking at how many working women have laptops, or do they just primarily use the desktops at the office and then they leave them there? okay, because you can't carry your desktop with you. So you have to quantify the opportunity. When you're quantifying the opportunity, you have to see if this opportunity is big enough, okay? So for example, when you're looking, let me give you 2 examples of shoes. So like now we have a shoe, when you wash it, they lose color, okay? The first time you wash it, they lose color. That's a big problem. That's a big opportunity because basically everyone wears shoes, yes? Yes, people? Hello?
Yes, ma. Yes, ma.
Yes, we all wear shoes, yes? And no one wants to buy a black shoe and then when it's washed, the next day it's gray, yes?
Yes, ma'am.
So that's, yeah, so now that's a big problem, yeah? So that's a big opportunity because there's so many people who want to wear shoes. So definitely you will have a large market whom you can be able to sell your product to. Now let's look at this on the other side of pants, okay? When it comes to pants, there are some people who want pants maybe with, you know, what is it called? A pan with a lid, okay? Pans with lids, yeah? So what kind of lid do they want? Maybe they want a lid with a handle or they want a see-through lid. Honestly, when you have a pan, having a see-through lid, yes, it's an opportunity, but it's not that big of an opportunity, okay? Because most of us are even used to having lids that you cannot see through it. They're just aluminum, okay? So you just cover the food and then when the food is, and then you keep on opening and checking how the food is, okay? So having a lid that is transparent, is that not that big of an opportunity, okay? Yes, it's an opportunity, but it's not that big. It's not something that people will, you know, it will not exactly transform people's lives. You get what I mean? Hello?
With you, ma.
Yes, so now you understand. Okay, so now you understand that. Do you understand the difference in how you quantify your opportunity? Do you understand that? Yes?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
Now we go to the third one. The third one is where you conceptualize the product. Conceptualization is trying to see how the product will work. So now let's look at the shoes. The shoes, it has to do with color. So let's conceptualize the shoe. So the shoe should retain its color after the first wash, after the second wash, after the third wash, after the fifth wash. So let's say they're sneakers. And if they're sneakers, those shoes should be able at least to retain their color for the first 1 year. Okay? So now you're looking at the concept that you're going to use. So now, what concept will I use? Now you will look for dyes that are resistant to wash. Okay? So when you're looking for dyes that are resistant to wash, what will you do with the dyes? You will add other things into the dye. So for example, when you buy clothes, I don't know whether you do it in your country or not, but since I was young, so I was taught that once you wash clothes and it's a new item that you've bought and the color is going to start running. So what you do, you usually put salt into the water. Okay, so when you put salt into the water, it helps the, what is it called? The fabric to retain its color. So it won't run so much, okay? The process of losing paint, the dye is called running. So what happens is that when you put salt into the washing water, what happens is that the dye won't run too much, okay? So the item is able to retain their color. So what you will do is that now when you're conceptualizing your product, you will look for items, things that will be able to help your product, yeah, retain color, because the problem you're solving is losing of color. So you will look for things that will help the dyes that you're using to remain onto the item and not to run once they are exposed to water, okay? So maybe you can put sodium chloride. Maybe you can put water, salt. Maybe, you know, all these things. There are other chemicals that you can use to enable your product to retain that color, yeah? So once you do that, and then now you, okay, so now once you try and say, so now if my shoes, if the shoes are washed the first time, the second time, they will retain their color, okay? So now you start to validate the solution. So now you've come up with a solution of retaining color onto the shoe. So what do? You try and test it out. Yes, you validate it in terms of checking, okay, this is now where you use the lean canvas. Remember we did the lean canvas in the beginning? So this is where now you use the lean canvas. So you have the problem. This is the problem. This is the solution that I have. Who are my competitors? Okay, who am I competing against? What is my competitive edge? My competitive edge is having long-lasting shoes that retain their color in terms of color, okay? What is it? Who are my competitors? Once I check at my competitors, I look at also the pricing. In terms of pricing, how much am I going to charge this shoe? And when you're doing the pricing, before you do the pricing, you must first find out how much it's going to cost to make your shoe, you know, resistant to running. So you find out what materials you will need, and you see that in the end of the day, will you be able to make profit? How will you do your advertising? What concepts will you use in advertising? Are you going to, what words are you going to use to, you know, to attract the market? Where is your target market? Yeah. Who is the most important aspect of your target market? Because here you have a large target market because everybody wears shoes. So that is a very big market. So now you need to be able to divide that market and bring it down to a more specific market that you will start with, and then gradually get onto the bigger target market, okay? Once you've done that, you've validated your solution. Now you start building a roadmap. A roadmap is what we discussed last week. You build a roadmap. A roadmap is all about strategy, how you're going to start, what steps you're going to follow, what is the production process. Once you've dealt with the production process, what is going to be the marketing strategy? What is going to be the communication strategy? What is going to be the strategy to get your products onto the supermarkets or to the shoe shops, or what, you know, what avenue do you want to use as your supply chain? Then after you've done that, now you develop an MVP. We discussed last time that an MVP is a minimal viable product. This is the shell. So you create this shell of a shoe, okay? Once you create the shell of a shoe, then after that, you release it into the market. After that, you will get feedback. Once you get feedback, yeah, once you get feedback, then you will know what to do. Once you get the feedback, give me a minute. You get the feedback. Once you get the feedback, you keep on changing, okay? To make sure that your product gets better. So now let's go to, yeah, so. And then now, so product development is not product management. Why? When you understand product development in this way, you see that there are different, although many people mistakenly use the terms interchangeably, okay? Product management, which I will discuss later, is much different, maybe a shorthand for the implementation team. Okay, it's usually product development is used by the implementation team. Okay, comprised primarily of developers, engineers, and possibly quality assurance people. So now this is in the case of software development. Now, in the case of where you're building a shoe, this is where you have people who are going to manufacture the shoe, people who are going to deal with the chemicals. You need scientists for that, okay? Because all these are all based, the color, losing of color, how to retain color, these are scientific and chemistry, okay? They're chemical reactions that take place, and you need people. So your engineers here in this case, you'll have chemistry experts who will be able now to play around with the colors, okay? And then now quality assurance. Quality assurance are the people who are going to test that product, okay, before you take it into the market. They will wash the shoe the first time, the second time, the third time to see if it's retaining the color so that it can be able to be taken into the market. But when it comes to house personal side, it should view it as more of an overall process. So product development is the overall process of developing a product from the beginning to the end, yeah? And it includes various, what is it called? Categories. So you have product management in it, because product management is the process of managing the whole process, okay? Then you have product marketing. These are people who are now going to deal with the marketing of the product. Then you have the project management team, because each and every product you're developing is a whole project. Look at it as a whole project. It has a beginning and it has an end. So there's agile management, there's architecture, there's design, there's development and engineering, manufacturing, testing, and QA, shipping and distribution, UI, UX. All these are in the context of software development, okay? Each of these groups play an essential role in the process, defining, designing, building, testing, and delivering the product, okay? Then now let me show you what the difference of product management and product development is. Product management is responsible for delivering products and services that make customers happy and drive business growth. It is integral to a company to have a broader product development cycle. The entire process of transforming raw ideas or raw materials into a solution that addresses customer needs, which is a problem. And when you solve a customer need, that is a solution to their need. So why is product management important? If you are reading this, we bet you already know how important project management is to a business. But for folks outside the field, how do you describe its essential nature? Product managers build products that can make incredible positive impact in the lives of customers. So by offering them solutions, you have the chance to create something new that solves customers' problems and offers them solutions. Our product building is a cross-functional endeavor. Product management sits at the center of, it's basically a bridge between engineering, design, marketing, sales, and customer teams. You facilitate communication and ensure everyone works together. So let me tell you now, so now when you look at the role of the product manager, the product manager is going to first of all sit with the team and validate the product. They will first of all, the product manager needs to work with, what is it called? The research people. Once they've researched the market, they've found that there's a gap. Once they found there's a gap, then now the product manager sits with, the developers and everyone else, and we're like, okay, fine, they do the brainstorming. Now, this is the problem in the market. What kind of solution can we give to this problem? Once they provide you with a solution, it is a product manager that will facilitate the validation of that solution. Okay, so you come up with maybe 5 or 6 solutions. The product manager sits with the team. They validate all those 6 solutions to get the best possible solution. Once they get the best possible solution, then they start breaking down that solution. Okay, they're like, okay, fine. We have a target market. We know the problem. This is the solution. Since this is the solution, do we have competitors who are offering a similar solution? And if we have competitors who are offering a similar solution, where are they lacking? What are their shortcomings? Yeah, and how can we use their shortcomings to be able to build a better product that will deal with all those problems and help us to be able to take control of the market share that our competitor has. Okay, so the product manager is there from the beginning to the end. Yeah, from the beginning to the end. Product management is now the process of managing all those elements. Product development is the process. I hope you've understood where the difference is.
Yes, we have, Mom.
Please, could you take it one more time, please?
Okay.
I don't really understand.
Okay, no problem. Product development is the stages. Yeah, the stages of everything that you will have to do from the beginning to the end. Product management is overseeing all those stages to be completed from the beginning to the end. So the role of a product manager is to oversee the product development. It is a product manager who works with all the people in all the departments to ensure that all the stages of product development have been completed. Have you understood? Or would you like me to?
Thank you very much, Ma.
Okay. So now here we're going to look at product management versus project management. So for product management, the purpose. Okay, so the purpose of product management is to release an offering that serves the company goals and customer needs. Just as I've explained during, the product development. So when it comes to the product development, it is the role of the product manager to ensure that the company offers a solution to the consumers for a problem they have identified. Okay? While project management is to deliver a specific task based on time and budget. So for example, product management is the whole thing. Project management could be, you could have projects in research where they just focus on research only. So you focus on getting, so your goal is to your goal is you set a goal of, I want to know what is the biggest, what is it called? What is the best shoe in the Nigerian market? That is a project because your goal is to find which is the best shoe in the Nigerian market. So in that project, you will do a lot of research after research. And part of research, what you have to do, you have to choose a sample size. You get a sample size, you analyze that data. After you analyze that data, then you report on that data, and that is a project. And for that specific project, you will have a budget. Okay, so you're told with 2 million, I want you to give me this. So something again also in software development. In software development, someone can come and tell you, I need you to install for me an ERP. Yeah, enterprise resource program. So what do? You tell them it's going to be worth how much? It's going to be worth maybe $5,000. So you take on to the project. So your goal is to make sure that the ERP is successfully implemented. So what you do, you need to first identify which ERP they're using. If they're not using ERP, then you have to understand if they're using what pattern they have. If they're just using if they're just using a manual system, from that, now you need to get them from the manual system onto the ERP. You need to make sure that they have the right computers. Once they have the right computers, they have the servers. Once they have the servers, then you have to make sure that the company is able to hire skilled people who can be able to manage that ERP. And then after you have implemented the ERP, you will now, what is it called? You will test the ERP. After you've tested the ERP, then you will train the members of the organization on how to use the ERP. So you will train the finance people on how to use the ERP. You will train the logistics people how to use the ERP. You will train the human resource. You will train all the departments on how to use ERP or that ERP, if that is what their role has to do with. Okay, once you've done that, then you will write a report. We have delivered, and maybe after 1 year, you will come back and you'll make assessments. If there needs to be any scalability to be done, blah, 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 you will come. So that you agree with the customer. You tell them it's going to take 6 months in those, and I need you to pay me $5,000 or $10,000, and I need it paid by this day, blah, 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 and that ends. So now that's a project. Now, the second thing is leadership. In product management, it creates they create the product roadmap, and they lead the cross-functional teams responsible for the product. As I said, the roadmap is the strategy. So this is the role of the product manager. Aside from creating the roadmap, they are the ones who are going to be able to prioritize items, what is most important. And for them to be able to prioritize what is most important, they must lead the cross-functional teams. So they need to talk to the business people and know what is hot in the market. They need to speak to the developers and know which one can be done in the shortest time possible, and then make a decision on what needs to be done first. Okay. Then there's the project manager. For them, the leadership is to create the plan. So this is what we call product planning, project planning, and manages the required cross-functional work. So the project manager just make sure they create a plan. After they create a plan, they make sure people follow that plan. Okay. Now, when it comes to work, so the work of the product manager, it defines product goals that support the company vision and communicating this to the rest of the team. So the product management is more, it includes, what is it called? It includes the input of all these other people. Yeah. It includes the input of all these cross-functional teams and helps them understand that this product that we are making, we have a vision for this product. This is how it's going to transform the company, and this is what we hope to achieve from it. When it comes to project management, it's not necessary. As a project manager, I don't have to convince people about what it is that I'm doing or speak to the team. And, I don't really need that much of their support, because for me, my role is just to set schedules, make sure that those schedules are followed, give a report, and make sure that everything is delivered on time based on the budget that we've been given. Yeah. So the product management responsibility. So the product managers are responsible for overseeing the product-related activities along every stage of the product life cycle. Then there's the product management spans from strategic objectives to tactical activities, including setting a product vision and strategy, creating a release plan, providing leadership to cross-functional teams. These are the engineers, the business people, the marketers, the analysts, the testing teams, the QA teams. And then there's also analyzing the product success. The product manager must create KPIs, performance of the product, and make change if the performance of the product is low, as based by the product life cycle, if it's in the growing stage, if it's in the maturity stage, yeah, or it's in the decline stage. So what are the roles? What are the skills of a product manager? So a product manager requires analytical skills. They need communication skills. When I mean communication skills, they must have interpersonal and intrapersonal. Interpersonal is they're able to communicate to each and every person on the team. They're able to communicate effectively to the developers. They're able to communicate effectively to the business people. They're able to communicate effectively stakeholders. They must be able to communicate to all these people. When it means intra-communication skills, it means communication within themselves. They must be able to think and, you know, be able to express themselves. So they need to understand what it is that they're communicating to the team so that they can express themselves in a better way. Then there's empathy. Empathy is very important as a product manager because you're not working with robots. You're working with human beings. You must be able to, you know, understand that they will have challenges. You need to be able to understand that there are days that some of them will get sick. You know, there are some of them who will have issues at home, others who will have issues at work, and you must be empathetic to their problems and support them. Do not judge people. You need to understand that they are human just like you. They have problems, and as a product manager, it is your role as a leader to support your people and to enable them to get to their potential. Okay, so if there are people you see who need, you know, help, they're lacking in one thing or another, you recommend them to do maybe a course here and there to help them improve their skills. If there are people who are getting sick, yeah, or they're under so much stress, you bring in the team and as they look for ways to be able to help this person to overcome the challenges that they're facing. Okay. And then their financial skills. The product manager must have financial skills because at the end of the day, every business is out there to make profit. So you must be able to make the calculations, be able to see the cost of each and every action that you're taking. And then you must have leadership skills. You must be able to inspire confidence, you know, in your team. When you speak to your team, the team is ready to listen to you because you have that leadership skill. You have those, you're charismatic, you know, you're encouraging them to do things in certain ways. And then we also have the presentation skills, be able to present ideas to your team, be able to present certain items to your team. And then we have project management skills. As a product manager, you need to have research skills, you need to have strategic thinking, and you also need to have technical skills. When I say technical skills, if you're going to become a product manager, you need to understand the languages, the programming languages that are being used by your team. Yeah, because if you don't know the programming languages that your team is using, you do not have to be, let's say, 100% proficient, but you need to understand the framework they're using. Yeah, because if you don't understand the framework that they're using, then it will be a challenge for you to be able to help them. Yeah. So the product manager role. So we have the product manager manages the entire product lifecycle and roadmap. Then we have the product owner. They support the product development team. The product owner and project manager are most commonly interchanged because of how they are. because they mostly do similar things. So organizations decide that they prefer to have one instead of another. Okay. Then we have growth product manager. So this is a person who, their main focus is to drive user and revenue growth. Then we have the technical product manager, collaborates closely with the engineering team. And then we have platform product manager. All these are specialties. You can choose to become a product manager, and these are areas you can specialize in. And then there's what we call product risk management. At the end of the day, as we said, there's nothing that doesn't have risk. Okay, so there are various kinds of risks when you're making a product. So they're the market risks. When I talk about the market risks, I mean one morning you can wake up and the market has decided they don't like shoes anymore for one reason or the other. Let's say for the time of COVID, people were not buying shoes. Why were they buying shoes? And they're mostly in the house. Okay. And then all of a sudden, everyone wants a mask. Okay. So now that is a change in the market. Now for people who had restaurants and everything else, they had to close because now the market is not moving. No one is going anywhere. So those restaurants had to close. Yeah. And they lost money. And some of them had invested so much in opening many branches. So that is a risk. And then we have the developers' risk. Dealing with developers is very risky because you are giving them, they have access to very sensitive information. They're the ones who know the framework of your product. So there's always a risk that your developers may decide to steal everything and go and open a company of their own and, build their own app and leave you hanging. There's also cybersecurity risks where people may, you get various kind of threats in form of people get access to your information, steal your information, others lock your systems because maybe for ransomware, there's so many kinds of cybersecurity risks. And then the organizational risks. Organizational risks mainly deals with the human resource, people. People are usually the biggest risks in organization because it's very difficult to keep people happy. 1 minute they're happy, the next minute they're not. Yeah. And you must be able to create a balance because in an organization, if your employees are disgruntled, then they will sabotage. They will sabotage your business. They're the ones who will also go tell your competitors that this is what it is that our company is working on. And by the time you're producing your product and taking it to the market, your competitors have already beat you to it because someone leaked out information. And then the economic risks. And economic risks have to do with maybe the fluctuation of the dollar against currency. The price of what you are buying, your raw materials changes. So it may either increase the cost of your production or reduce the cost of your production, and then there are also environmental risks. For example, if you're used to getting your, what is it called? You may have floods. Floods may come and they may destroy your factory. Floods may come in and, they affect, what is it called? They affect the cables for your internet, which means that you will not be able to work. You will have to look for other ways to work. You'll have to replace them at a cost, so that, those are an additional expense. And then there also the legal risks. So you may start something and then you find that a new government has come in, or either a new law has come in. So now for you to be able to be compliant to that new law, you're going to incur additional costs. Then there's the political risks where there's maybe political unrest. One day your country and the country where you were getting your items were, were allies and you could be able to do trade. The next minute you're told now you cannot be able to do trade with them, and that was your biggest market. So now you've lost a considerable portion of your target market because of political elements. So how do you deal with risks? You deal with risks in 5 major ways. One way you can avoid that risk. Avoiding is always the best approach because anticipate what kind of risks you can have in your business and try to avoid them. Okay? When it comes, then there's the element of transfer. So when it comes to transfer, this is where you transfer the risk to someone else. So when you transfer the risk to someone else, you could transfer this risk maybe to an insurance company. So you pay premiums so that in case that risk occurs, the insurance company will pay for it and, compensate you. For example, if there's a risk of fire, of things burning, maybe you have a data center and there's an element of fire can break out anytime. So what do? You transfer that risk to the insurance company, pay a premium, then that company will pay you to replace all those machines. Okay. Then there's also retention. Retention is where you just accept the risk itself. And when you're retaining a risk, this is when you're just, what is it called? The risk is very minimal. It's not going to make a big difference in your business. So you're just like, okay, fine, let me just retain it. I will work on it. I will pay for it. Finished. And then there's reduction. So the reduction is where you do everything possible to reduce the risk. This risk will occur. So what do? You take all the measures to cushion yourself. So what you've just done, you've reduced the impact of that risk onto your business. Okay, so reduction, for example, you make sure if you're dealing with software or IT-based stuff, you have restrictions for locations. You have you have passwords, you use biometrics, you also invest in good cybersecurity protocols, all that. It's reducing because one way or the other, the risk is there. You can't totally avoid it, but now you've reduced the impact. Okay, then there's the sharing. The sharing model, this is where you share the risk with someone else. So for example, you can share the risk with one of your stakeholders. You can share the risk with the insurance company, or you can share the risk maybe with also your consumers. It all depends on the kind of product that you're having. Now we're finished. I said today is our last class, so you will get to ask as many questions as possible. Let's start with the questions. Let me put up the document here. Hello.
We're here, ma.
Why are you so quiet? Yeah? People, why are you so quiet?
Well, we're
You don't
checking
have
now.
questions?
Know if we have questions. We're checking.
Okay. Fine. Just check as I try to upload this document for you. So I will send the document to, I cannot be able to send it here, so let me upload the document and send it to Adet, and then he will be able to upload it for everyone to have access.
Okay, ma.
I don't mean questions for only today. If you have any other questions for other classes that we've had, this is your last opportunity.
Hello, ma.
Hello.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much for the session. I missed some of the classes on product licensing. I had network issues. I don't know if you can please help us do a quick summary on product licensing.
Product licensing.
Yes, ma.
Did I teach anything about product licensing?
No, ma. No.
That's what I'm wondering. I didn't do anything on product licensing. Or are you talking about product life cycle?
Sorry, life cycle. I know I heard you say licensing, so I was wondering whether it was the one I missed. So
It's
product
product
life
life cycle.
cycle.
Okay.
Okay, product life cycle.
Okay, give me a minute. Let me open it.
Okay, ma'am.
I've sent the notes to Mr. Det. He's going to forward them to you. I do not have rights to upload them to here, but I'm sure he will give them to you. Let me get product life cycle. Can you see my screen?
Not yet, ma'am.
Not yet, ma'am.
And now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
so what is
ma'am.
it about product life cycle? So product life cycle was just about the stages in which the product goes through once you take it into the market. So there's in the introduction when you first introduce your product into the market. And this is the place where you do a lot of marketing. And then once you've done so much marketing and you've introduced the product into the market, it starts to catch on. Okay, it catches on like fire and you start experiencing a growth. Okay, once you experience that growth, it continues to grow and it gets to a point where it stabilizes in the market. When it stabilizes in the market, that is what we call maturity. Once it has stabilized in the market, the only thing that can happen to this product is declining. Okay, so it starts to reduce in what is it? In sales because of various factors. It could be that now you have competitors or people are no longer, they're no longer excited because it's no longer a new product. Okay. So when it starts to decline, this is where now you have to make a decision. Do I want to rebrand my product? What do I need to add on to my product so that it can have another cycle of introduction and grow, and then it goes to maturity. So you can either choose to restructure your product and it starts the cycle all over again, or you can decide to just kill the product because you have achieved what you wanted to achieve and you don't see the point of reinvesting into this product. Okay. So there were different phases that I explained: the introduction, the growth phase, the maturity, and then the decline. And then there were the advantages of the product life cycle. So the product life cycle, it helps the marketers and the business developers to understand the product and the market better. It enables the company to internally shift resources. So for example, if you're selling multiple products and one is at, what is it called? One is at introduction and the other one is at decline, and you decide that the one that is declining, you want to get rid of it, you want to clean it, you want to kill it, you can decide to move these resources to the other product that is at introduction. Okay. It also helps you make a decision on where to spend your money, because you shouldn't spend money on products that are not performing. Okay. So it helps you understand these things, how to invest your money, and you know how trends, how consumers are, how the consumer is, helps you, you know, do research and be able to look for ways of how to make your product better. Okay. And then there was the limitation, because despite its utility for planning and analysis, it does not pertain to every product. It's not applicable into all products. There are some products where they stay for maturity for over 30 years or even 100 years. Okay. So that one, and the others that stay in introduction and growth for even 20, 30 years. So those ones, they don't really give you, you know, they don't give you, what is it called? You can't have foresight on what you're going to do with your product. And then there are some products that, despite performing well, they have to be killed. And that is where I spoke about Fanta. The Fanta Orange is the original product from Fanta. Now, they usually have Fanta Pineapple, Fanta Passion, Fanta Blackcurrant, and each and every time that maybe Fanta Passion, as in its sales exceed for Fanta Orange, they usually kill Fanta Passion for some time so that Fanta Orange can maintain its supremacy. Okay, because that is their trademark. Okay. Yes, so those are some of the things. And then I talked about the dogs, the cash cows, the stars, and the question marks. Okay. And you will see all these notes and you will be able to understand. So, and then I spoke about, were you there for the roadmap?
No, ma.
So the roadmap is, I'll just give you an overview. The roadmap is basically, it's basically a strategy. It's a strategy of how you're going to work on your product. It gives step by step, you know, details on how you're going to work on your product. It describes the vision of the strategy. You know, it helps communicate to external stakeholders and also internal stakeholders. You know, like for example, you have a team of developers with a roadmap. They can see where this product is going, what your vision is, what your goals are, okay, what it is that you hope to attain. It helps in putting you and your developers or your team on the same page. It also shows them how they're supposed to execute that strategy. How will they reach to this goal? Yeah. It also facilitates discussion of options and scenario planning. This also provides an opportunity for the people that you're working with to give you ideas, to give you, you know, to go outside there once they see, okay, this is the strategy, and they go and like, oh, okay, I have a better way of doing these things to be able to achieve this goal. It provides them with an opportunity to go there, think about it, and then come to you, and then you can make changes. Okay, the roadmap can be changed as many times as possible. Yeah.
Okay. All right, ma'am.
So the importance of the roadmap is how the product strategy, to ensure the product strategy becomes a reality. It's a source of inspiration, motivation, and shared ownership for the team. Product roadmaps are, they can be used for pitching your product, like even some banks, if you want money, if you just take them a pitch, they will ask you for a roadmap because they want to see what strategy you're going to use, in achieving these goals that you're telling them. You're telling them, yes, I'm going to be able to pay you in 5 years. So if you're going to be able to pay me in 5 years, they would want to see a 5-year roadmap to see how you've planned yourself, how you're going to achieve your goals, how you're going to be able to deal with your risks, how you're going to be able to deal with your competition, how you're going to be able to deal, with new innovations that are coming in, and how you're going to get to your end goal. So as I said, the roadmap it's an evolutionary document. It can be done as many times as possible. It depends on the horizon. It depends on the frequency, dependencies and goals. All these things change depending on the kind of organization. Like, for example, a startup roadmap cannot be the same for an established company, okay? Because the dynamics in a startup are very different from those in an established company. Okay.
Yes.
So what do you include in a roadmap? What values it has. Does it have actual value? If not, don't put it in the roadmap. Don't give too much information. Look at what information you're putting and what value it has. Is there evidence of that value? This is where you use numbers. Do not just say, oh, I have a feeling, oh, things are going to be like this. You have to be able to show the numbers. Do research. Give them numbers. Go to a place there's a place I told you, like Statistica. They have numbers. They tell you about markets. You just tell them, I want to learn about this specific market. The information that is there, you use that information and include it into your roadmap. Is there an owner? Every request needs a champion who understands the nuisances that will continue to fight for. Who is the motivating factor? Does it fit? There are a lot of great ideas, but not all great ideas are viable. Yeah.
Okay.
So then there's the prioritization techniques. We have RICE, and then we have the MOSCO, and then we did an activity of using MOSCO where you would tell me what is the must have, should have, could have, won't have. For example, we used a handbag, and we looked at a handbag needs. It needs a lock-in. It must be able to carry stuff. That is a must have. Should have, it should be able to have a lock-in system. Yeah. Could have, it could have spaces that allow you to put different things. Won't have is that it has wheels, because you don't need wheels on a handbag. Yeah.
Right.
So you go through all these things, and then the benefits of prioritization, no need to rework. So you focus on what you're going to do. There's higher quality of products and services because you're spending, there's, what is it called? There's more attention to detail, okay? You eliminated unnecessary functions. There's faster development, higher customer satisfaction, because, you're focusing on the consumer, what the consumer wants and not what you want, okay? There's the reduction in the expectation gap, because you already know what the consumer wants, yeah? The consumer will readily accept your product, and as opposed to you thinking, okay, the customer wants this and this and this, and then when you release your product, you get a rude shock. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so that was it. I can see there are other questions. Who's number one? Priska was number one.
Good morning, ma'am.
Good morning.
It's
Who am I speaking to?
Palinat Sulaiman.
Okay. Yes.
I'd like you to please go through the responsibility of the product manager versus project manager, their responsibilities.
Okay. First of all, let me ask you a question. Do you know the difference between a project manager and a product manager? From there, because that is the best approach. Tell me what is the difference between a product manager and a project manager?
Okay, ma'am.
I'm waiting.
Okay, ma'am. The meaning. Okay, what I understand to be a product manager is for someone
Sorry?
To provide a product manager.
Yeah.
Someone to provide or serve a company goal.
Yes.
And a project management. Someone to deliver a specific effort, like deliver some services.
Yes, you're good. Now,
Okay.
From there, tell me what are the responsibilities of a product manager and a project manager? I want you to answer yourself the same. I want you to answer your question for yourself, because it will help you much better in understanding. So what do you think the role of a product manager is? What is the difference of a product manager and a project manager? You've told me the difference. Now I want you to tell me the difference in their roles and their responsibilities.
That's the question I asked, ma'am.
Yes, I know. That's why I want you to answer yourself. And not only you, the rest of the class can also help you. You know, it's team effort.
Okay.
Moreidi. Amoshe Moreidi. Okay, so you have Annie who wants to help you. Yes, Annie. And then Onifade will go next. Annie, please.
Okay, one of the difference between a product manager and a project manager is a product manager oversees like the completion of the product development stages. So he works directly on the product development stages, while a project manager oversees that the product manager is not in need in any aspect of the stages that need to be completed. Like he oversees the entire project, while the product manager's role is more specific on the stages in developing the product.
Next. Annie, you're finished. It was Onifade. Onifade is next, and then Moreidi will be third. Thank you, Annie.
Ma'am. Good morning, ma'am. Project manager deals with the product majorly. They define the goals and the visions of the company, like concerning the product that they're about to put out. So they make sure that the product like goes through planning processes, implementations, so as to like compete with other brands in the market, while project management analyze, delegates roles and responsibilities of teamwork among among the team members in the organizations. That's all I can say.
Good work. Now we go to Omoshe Muredi. And then after that, we'll go to Adejo. We'll go to Adejo. Omoshe?
Good afternoon, everyone.
Afternoon.
And so for the product manager, in terms of leadership, he or she creates the product roadmap to lead the cross-functional team responsible for the product. And for the project manager, in terms of leadership, he or she creates the project plan and manages the required cross-functional work.
Okay. That's good. Adejo?
Yes, good morning, madam. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
Yes, so the difference between the project manager and the responsibility of a project manager is bigger compared to that of a product manager. Let me give an example. If a company wants to push out a new set of products, let's say 4 products, product A, B, C, D. So the whole project, a project manager handles the whole project holistically, but now the project manager now has product managers under him to manage manager product A, the same thing for another product manager B, C, D, like that. So more like the product managers ultimately report to the project manager who handles the whole project holistically. So that's my own understanding. Yeah, that's the difference.
You're correct. You're correct.
Yeah. Thank you, madam. All right.
Onifade?
Sorry, I forgot to.
So let me explain it to you. Okay. So let me explain it to you this way. Just as he said, a product, the product manager is responsible for the whole product development from the beginning to the end. The research of that product, he is in charge of the research people who are going to research on that product. He is in charge of the people who are going to market that product. He is in charge of the people who are going to develop that product, whether they're engineers, whether they're developers, whether they're manufacturers. Everything that has to do with that product is under the product manager. And that's why the product manager is the person that will prioritize. They're the ones who will decide what is going to be done first, what is going to be done second, what is going to be done third. They are the ones who sit down and validate that product. Is that product viable or not? They're the ones to take ideas from even the team members to be able to see how they can improve that product. The product manager is in charge of that product from the beginning to the end and all aspects of that product. That is their baby, okay? They must know the vision of this product, what this product is going to do, what value it has to the company, what value it gives the company, okay? So they're in charge of that completely. Come on to the other side. The project manager is not involved on the intricate details of all this, yeah? Because the project manager has different people responsible for different things. If the project manager is managing 4 different products, the 4 product managers or owners will come and give him. The main role of a project manager is to make sure that create a project plan from the beginning to the end, assign people, responsible for that project, okay? And make sure that project is done within the time stipulated, because project managers function on a budget, okay? For them, a project has a beginning and an end. For product management, that product never has an end unless you kill the product. But for a project manager, there has to be a beginning and an end. They know that the product, if it's the release of products, once the product has been released, the project manager has done what they were supposed to do. The deadlines were met, the budget was in check, everything was done, everything was released. The project manager can now say that project is done. Okay, but for a product owner, releasing the product into the market is just one of the other stages, because once the product is released into the market, they must get feedback. Once they get feedback, they have to think about how they are going to continue making this product better and better and better and better. So the role of a product owner is never ending. Product manager is a never ending, role. It continues. But a project manager, once they have met the objective, they were told, handle these 4 products, make sure that these products are released by 31st of December. Once those products are released by 31st of December and, they are released into the market, and finally they write the report, their role is done. What happens after that is none of their business. Whether that product makes money or not, that is not their business. But for a product manager, it is their business to make sure that that product offers a solution. That product generates money for the organization. Yeah. But for the project manager, the product manager cares about, 1, the element of time, making sure that things are done based on the project plan. 2, that the amount of money that was set aside for that project, is managed efficiently, and to make sure that by the time that project ends, the money ends hand in hand with the project, that the money does not end before the project has ended, and make sure that everyone does their work and everyone gets along. So that is the role, and those are the responsibilities of the project manager. For the product manager, everything, anything, any error on the product, it is their fault. Why? Because they're the ones who are handling the whole team. If that product doesn't perform well in the market, it is the fault of the product manager. They did not validate the product well. If that product is of low quality, it is the issue of the product manager, because the product manager did not make sure that they did enough testing, or there's no quality analysis that was done. Yeah. If that product, does not reach growth fast enough, it means that the product manager is not, setting out the teams to do proper marketing. Yeah. They don't know how they're marketing the product. They don't know who their target market is. So all that is the responsibility of the product manager. And the other thing is the role of the project manager. So the product manager has a more intense role as opposed to the project manager. I hope I've answered your question.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. If there are no any other questions, I would like to say thank you. You have been a great class. You have been very active. I've really enjoyed my time with you. And I wish you your very best in whatever careers you take. I will put my, let me put my LinkedIn here. And if you have any questions, you can be able to contact me and I can help you with the support that I can. Okay?
Thank you so much, ma.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank
you.
We're going to miss
We will
you.
actually miss you, ma.
So
We
much.
miss you, ma.
Inshallah, maybe one time I will come. Okay. So I've sent you my LinkedIn. It's there on the chat. I have also given Mr. Edet your notes. You should have them as soon as possible. I wish you your very best. I wish most of you can be able to, you know, choose a career in product. It's a very rewarding. It's a very rewarding career. It's yes, it is challenging, but it's beautiful. You get to build a lot of beautiful products. I also work with entrepreneurs, and I hope that some of you can also choose to become entrepreneurs and provide solutions. Yeah, let's provide solutions to the market. Let's not always, you know, wait for other people to provide solutions. You're a very smart group of people, ladies and gentlemen, and I wish you that you can build innovative products, and I'm available for any questions you may have, and I can assist you in any way that I may be able to. There's one question. Muridi, yes?
Excuse me, are we going to have an assessment or this is it?
Yes. You're going to be, I'm not the one who's going to create the assessment, but the assessment will be created and you will be given an assessment. And I hope you make me proud, all of you. Yeah?
We have to.
I don't expect it. I don't expect anyone to get less than B. Anything less than B is an insult. I'd be very offended.
No one is really ready for this product.
Okay. There's also a question from David. Yes, David.
Please, will the assessment be today?
Not today.
Okay, all right.
Thanks
for the clarity, ma'am.
You'll be told when the assessment will be. Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
But I know
yes,
you. I know you will be able to pass it, even if it's brought tomorrow. Yeah. Even if it's brought tomorrow, don't worry. You will get A's. Everyone will get A's. Yeah. That will be my joy if all of you pass. Okay. Okay, so I will end my class. I've told you I've sent the notes, and it was a pleasure being your instructor. Okay.
Thank you so much,
okay,
ma.
Okay, all the best.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Thanks, ma. Bye-bye.
Goodbye, ma.
Thank you, ma. Bye.